ergonomic. You know how to tuck it into your pocket, right? We've been over that enough times. You can actually put that right there on your shirt.
Here?
Yeah. We don't need it. I think so.
Roman.
Right here?
Yeah, it should pick you up.
Should I just talk?
It's picking you up perfect.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah.
I don't think Curb Your Enthusiasm is as funny as it used to be.
I like the new season.
Yeah, everything okay there with that party? Okay, is everybody all right? I'm stuck somewhere. I can't go. Okay. All right. Bye. Yeah, you think it's funny?
I do. Yeah. I think it's great. It was good.
Yeah, I don't know. I kept falling asleep. I gotta watch it again.
I'll probably watch it tonight then, before I go to bed.
Where's Jesse? Where's Jesse? You know, I didn't hear about the deal at all today. I'm not pushing. Everybody's probably waiting for my lawyer. I still haven't signed it.
Oh, for Ned's?
Yeah.
And what do you think?
A warehouse with a coded kitchen, you know, meaning a legal kitchen to cater out of. And maybe even do like a podcast with like recipes.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Roll in a nice stove.
Yeah.
Some ambiance. It's like your little, like a little cooking show. You talk about politics, whatever's on your mind, and you cook shit.
Yeah.
And just
actually, it has to be nice.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you design it. It'd be your design.
Yeah.
It's your space. It's your set. It's your show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we're doing a cooking show, and it's your whole animal, you can create whatever you want. It can be about food.
Yeah.
But you can have your friends over. You have a nice table, a camera set up, and you just sit and talk with your friends. You know, about history, about whatever. And I think if you let it go naturally, just sort of let it take on its own life, it'll become something interesting.
I think it'd be cool if it was, like you kind of maybe talk for an hour, set it at a time, and then edit the shows down to about 20 minutes. Mine went on, then mine came off because it said the shit show.
Right.
And I guess they didn't catch it the first time, but then it was obscene or whatever it was.
That's crazy, yeah.
And so they took it off, and I was like, what the hell? You can't submit the same one twice.
Right.
Until I got Podomatic to change it from the shit show to TSS with J-Bo.
Right.
And then I submitted it, and they accepted it almost immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's how you do it. And then you advertise it on Twitter. And
Instagram, that's the one thing, that's the one social network I use. But you're right. The more I transition into doing this kind of stuff full time, the more I'm going to need a Twitter. And I'll have to I've been off Facebook for a while, but I was active enough on it for enough years.
Facebook's good, but I think it's about Twitter. It's more about Instagram and those places. Facebook's cool.
Yeah, I think you're right about Twitter.
I've never seen Twitter except I hear about it on the news all the time.
Twitter's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I've been trying to turn people on to Twitter since I got on it, for years, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't." Told Herschel this morning. I have nothing to say. I'm not going to be tweeting. 12-year-old girl shit. I'm like, no, that's not what it's about. You follow the news sources. In your case, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. You follow whatever you like, and you get the news immediately.
Hey, Rome's.
You get the news and all the takes and all the hot takes and reactions immediately.
Well, because it's a platform where you can put unpolished stuff out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Twitter is like undeveloped, but it's also good. Thank you,
Mark.
Mark.
There, buddy? Put the fan on out here, honey.
Roman's under the table now.
Roman,
All right.
come on, Roman.
Oh, he's fine.
No, he's okay. I just didn't want you to step on his feet.
He's confused that we're out here doing a podcast. He doesn't know what to make of it.
That's really good.
Like that? Is
Yeah.
Okay?
Hi, Ro. Chilly with that fan on.
I like it.
It's cool. Yeah, you got your coffee to warm you up.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right.
Are you going to be okay? Did you grow up in fucking Jersey or not?
You have no idea where I grew up.
Yeah, I literally know exactly where you grew up. I've been there. You remember that?
T-neck?
Yeah. T-neck.
I took him to my house.
They're known for their pastries, right?
Whitney
That
Houston.
one place is, not the whole town.
Whitney Houston. From Jersey.
She's from Newark. The Isley brothers are from Teaneck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Teaneck Records.
I need some sugar in this coffee,
Huh?
I just get by with cream.
man. Yeah, I should probably just fucking man up.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
You'll be all right. You're not a liquor drinker, though, are you, Jess?
I came to some realization when I was really stoned, ironically, one time, that getting stoned all the time or getting drunk all the time was like a crutch, an unfair, like something I was using, and it was like unfair to like myself and my life and humanity and all that. Ironically, when I was stoned, the information came to me when I was intoxicated.
Right. Well, a certain level of intoxication, you can kind of feel euphoric. Not that you're smarter than you would be if you were sober.
Right.
But yeah, it's marijuana's more epiphanical, if that's even a word. But you get it.
Epiphany ridden.
Yeah, it's more. You have more epiphanies on marijuana. Like you're not having any epiphanies when you're drunk.
Well, I once was doing these like hard drugs in Seattle. Like speed. Just like I did a couple weekends, like literally, just like 3 times all total.
Right.
And I had a guitar in my hand, and I was just like for like 4 hours coming up with this masterpiece, you know. And it was just a total piece of shit. Like it was just so terrible.
Right.
In my mind, it was some like awesome industrial metal thing. I'm sitting in some lazy boy in some chick's house. And for like 3 in the morning, about 7 or 8. And it was just dog shit. I mean, first of all, I couldn't even remember it. Secondly, what I could remember was terrible.
Right.
So you might come up with epiphanies when you're intoxicated, but it's
there never is good.
Well, no, it can be.
Yeah,
a lot of people on drugs do good work.
Right.
But I would say the litmus test is if you're sober and it still blows your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And in my world, how I bring that down to a macro level is like, if I can write a song on an acoustic guitar without a bunch of loud drums or a distortion pedal, if it moves me at that point, it's fucking cool.
Right.
All that other shit, it may or may not be cool, but that's a way to like entice the senses.
Sure.
You know, I don't know.
That makes sense. And the less you need, the more powerful that kind of message is. Like certain hip hop, you can listen to without the beat. Like certain nods.
Is that the trick? Without the beat.
Certain nod songs and certain things that most Def will do. Guys that can really flow and sort of they spit poetry more than like repeating themselves about Gucci or some shit. I don't know. It's like, okay, this is street poetry. I can get down with this even without a beat. I prefer it with the beat.
Could you get down without any of the music?
What do you mean?
Like just the poetry?
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, the right. Oh yeah, sure.
If it's good poetry.
Yeah. What's one I can think of?
I was just saying, like, you could, a little hook. You wouldn't have to have the hook. You're talking about
Right.
just listening to the actor.
You know, I listen to that Cyrus Radios. A lot, I have like the Motown station.
Yeah.
Those fucking lyrics are great.
Right.
You know, some of the old lyrics from Motown.
I bet.
They're completely understandable and
Right.
yeah, I love them.
Well, those guys did music like it was their 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
They weren't
Right.
super artistes. I mean, maybe some of them were, but it was like a fucking job.
Right.
Perspiration.
Yeah. Tupac says something like that in one of his songs, because I remember Heather came in and she was talking, me and Chris were talking about Tupac, and she said, oh, I don't like the way he talks about women, which is a stereotypical answer women will have towards rappers. But,
or if they say it also.
But I wanted to quote to her one of his songs, "Keep Your Head Up."
Where's that going?
I don't know where you going. Oh, turning the fan off. I knew it. I knew he was going to do it.
I thought he was checking out again.
You hear him rustling on the headphones. Oh, he probably put a jacket on. Yeah, you can turn the fan off if you want. It's not totally necessary for me. Whatever, do whatever's comfortable. Just make sure that now your jacket is touching the microphone. Make sure that's not the case.
Okay.
Roman heard that microphone.
So Ned.
Yeah.
Roman.
You obviously, I'm assuming you understand what we're saying as far as like the basics, and if you can sing in that arena, like everything's good. With cooking.
Yeah.
What is it to you? How do you know if it's good? I mean, you wouldn't add a ton of butter and sugar to it, right? Or how does that translate to cooking something amazing?
Well, I've designed, my food entire lifetime over like how I would want something to eat.
How you would like to eat it?
Yeah.
That's fair enough. With an art form, really.
Right.
When you're younger, you overdo stuff sometimes. Like I remember when I had that little breakfast place, I put cilantro on everything.
What, Malaga?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, but now I'm just careful. I watch other people cook because I don't cook on the line anymore. Like I ordered today's lunch special without chicken, a rustica, which is just kind of like a sausage and peppers kind of deal. I don't want to name names, but he gave me more fucking sausage than like any human being could ever eat in his life. You know, I got it in the refrigerator outside. Yeah, it makes no sense. You know, like why would anybody put so much sausage in a dish? You know,
right? So there's a lot of people who just don't have that instinct.
Like yeah, or else they're in a hurry. You know, that's the whole thing about restaurant cooking, line cooking. You know, especially sauteing.
Intuitive, common sense.
Yeah.
To put that much sausage in a dish.
Yeah.
Right.
I know. But I think maybe he just said, "Oh, it's for Ned. Yeah, let's get it. Give him his food quick." You know.
He looks like a guy that could eat some sausage.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
I'm gonna do an extra special. Really just fucked it up.
Right.
There's a sandwich place near Greensburg. It's this little tiny country place that makes great sandwiches. They put so much goddamn meat and cheese. I literally have to ask for half the meat and cheese.
Right.
I feel like I'm getting ripped off, but it's the only way I can eat it.
There's a spicy chicken place in Nashville, several. And even their lightest spice will like ruin your mouth if you're not careful.
That place, I hadn't been out to their little place in Molasses Junction for like 30 years. I used to have that Tokoi fish camp out there. I'd go out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That guy he used to have like this old Coke machine, you know, with the old Coke bottles, and then like a refrigerator full of ham and cheese on white bread, but it was like the best. You know, I don't know. It was so good. You know?
Just a simple sandwich.
Just the ham and cheese on white bread with mayonnaise wrapped up in plastic.
It was an unbelievable sandwich.
Maybe my memory of it was doing it a little more excitement than the real thing, but I used to love it. And then the old Coke bottles, because there wasn't anybody around that had Coke bottles like that anymore. He did.
I mean, cooking is alchemy, and do you feel it, Ned? Do you ever feel like when you're cooking, there's just like this feeling, and it's kind of guiding you, and it's this amazing thing happening at the moment? Like, I might if I'm, I don't know, doing something I'm really interested in. Do you ever feel that way, Ned?
No, I've been cooking my whole life. I love cooking.
The magic is.
Well, it might be magic, but I mean, I'm not the way you describe it. I mean, I just enjoy cooking.
I feel that way.
Huh?
Actually.
Like when you were writing your article today on sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
Are you feeling the
Sure.
zeitgeist kind of?
I just feel an instinct. There's like there's a wormhole that was meant for me. It's like my unique experience gives me a perspective that I can talk about. You know what I mean? It's like this is my niche right here. Sexual misconduct. But I feel that when I'm cooking, actually. Like when I make eggs and shit in the morning, and I'm blending and I'm throwing the cheese in, and first I throw the garlic and the olive oil in there, and I roast the artichokes. I put the artichokes on the plate, and I just kind of go with the flow. And I'm like, okay, well, it wouldn't make sense to put the eggs in right away because I got to cook the spinach first, you know, and then the eggs will be dry.
You ever seen Herschel cook, Ned?
No.
He cooked breakfast for me one time.
Yeah.
In Kansas City.
I actually.
Burrito.
Yeah. I make a good breakfast burrito mix.
Yeah.
Would you like to hear the ensemble?
Okay.
I start with those artichokes.
Yeah.
That you give me. I already explained half of it. It's not going to be that exciting now. But I start with those artichokes and I roast I do it to there's a little crisp, burn on the tip.
Caramelization, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I should make them for Daniela goes crazy over them. So I put those on the plate, and then I throw in some spinach, some garlic, and some olive oil, and I get that sauteing. And while that's sauteing, I stir the eggs, 3 or 4 eggs. Then I dump the eggs on top of that with some mixed cheddar. I'll use some Vermont sharp cheddar, the cheese from this place you showed me, some Vermont sharp, and then some extra sharp. Mix that up, throw it in there on top of the eggs, and that becomes like a cream because it sort of heats up and the cheese sort of melts and mixes with the egg. And then I throw a really spicy, authentic taco salsa, and I mix it with a chunky salsa.
Organic?
Yeah, organic. And I know it's good salsa if all the ingredients are in Spanish. So I mix the 2 salsas up, and I'm pretty sure that's about it. And I sort of flip that around and get almost like an omelet going, but not really. It's more mixed.
Yeah.
I mix it with a spatula. And then I put that on the plate, and I'll put a big heaping scoop of sour cream and some salsa in a little cup, and I'll warm up some flour tortillas, and then I'll bring them to the bedroom, and we make breakfast. You know, we eat breakfast burritos. You throw on it. You put. And also, you know what I do that I learned from him? What he does, what you do with the home fries. After I put the artichokes on the plate, I'll take a little bit of that sharp cheddar and I'll sprinkle a little layer over there. So by the time I put the eggs on the plate, it's melted. And you got some artichokes, and you can eat them just as they are because they're really good. Or you can put 1 or 2 inside your breakfast burrito. It's however you want to do it.
One of my favorite dishes of all time is the East LA fried egg.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, it's on the menu.
So how do you make an East LA?
Well, the way I originally made it is, actually I didn't whip up the eggs. It was fried eggs, broken, like over hard, with sausage, with the chorizo, peppers and onions, a little cheese, a little salsa. Simplicities, you know, it's not, yeah. And then you wrap it up in the tortilla. At Gypsy, I used to like just put little slits on top, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then in North Carolina, I cut it in half. It was better and easier to eat and made more sense. That's how I do it here.
Yeah, Drew comes in, almost orders the East LA every time.
It's a great dish.
Yeah, it really is.
So you sell it at Ned's right now?
Yeah.
As a lunch item or anything?
Any item. You can have it anytime you want.
See, I almost can't have a burrito or a taco without sour cream. I don't know why. It's one of my favorite ingredients. It's simple, maybe, you know what I mean? I know
Sour cream's unbelievably tasty.
it is. It just makes everything better in a burrito, I think. I get upset when I'll bite into a burrito and there's no sour cream.
I just made a dish tonight, and I've been talking about it for 4 days. And I don't know that it was a total success, but it was like 75% success.
I think it was actually really good. What I just had? The rice with the mango?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too sweet. I think that was the best part about it.
See, Mom said it wasn't sweet enough, and I said I kind of slacked off on the sugar. I think what it is, I had too much rice for the coconut milk.
Right.
But anyway, I'm glad you liked it.
No,
Hey,
I
did you like it?
like that vague sweetness. It's more of a natural sweet.
Yeah, Marta wouldn't let me have the whole thing.
Did she eat it?
No, it's out there. I'm not just shaded in that.
Well, I never understood. And Ned, did you know about glutinous rice?
I knew that there's different kinds of rice.
Glutenless rice?
Yeah,
Glutinous.
And
Glutinous.
it's basically sweet, sticky rice.
Okay.
But it's what they use in desserts. I had no idea. And you smell it, there's this kind of almost jasmine
Right.
scent, a sweet scent coming
I like basmati rice.
Yeah?
I like them. Yeah, I like that.
Is there rice in tapioca pudding?
There's tapioca.
So I don't know.
The tapioca
There's
is its
so
own
much
thing.
I don't know.
There's
I
rice
knew
in rice
that,
pudding.
I think.
Yeah.
In Indian.
Right.
desserts.
Okay.
That's
See,
unbelievable.
that would be right. That would work in a rice pudding.
Yeah, that was. I like it with the mango. How it was with the mango on top. Daniela's gonna love that.
I got that at the Vietnamese restaurant, and I wanted to recreate it.
Yeah.
Well, I was at the grocery store, and I saw some mangoes, and I thought of them, like, man. Then I went down to the Vietnamese place and they gave me just raw glutinous rice. So
Really?
$3. I got a
Vietnamese
whole
place
bag.
around here?
Yeah, right down there by Gold's Gym.
Really?
Yeah.
So you go there, you get the glutinous rice. You put what? You mix it. You mix the glutinous rice with the
soak it
coconut
overnight.
milk.
You soak it overnight. Then you make it like you would make regular rice, just a little less water. And you get coconut milk, unsweetened, couple dashes of salt.
So you use that liquid-wise, 2 to 1.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Just
the
under that because there's already a little liquid in it, but yeah.
part of the 2 is the coconut milk. Part of the liquid.
No. You cook it like you cook regular rice.
Yeah.
Just a little less water because I'd soaked it. It was already a little wet. But then I just simmer. You don't want to hard boil it because it'll curdle apparently.
Right.
Unsweetened coconut milk, couple dashes of salt, sugar to taste, and you pour 3/4 of it in with the rice. Once your rice is done, chill it, let it get a little thick, and then put the mango on. You get some sesame seeds and you toast those with a little vegetable oil. Put that on top, then the mango, and the rest of the coconut milk on top of that.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
And not too hard to make.
It's really simple.
I liked it.
This is like the Oprah show. Yeah, with the little recipes. Yeah.
It is. It's really neat.
Tell us about a recipe then.
Yeah. That one's a good one.
I went to.
Gypsy chicken.
Yeah.
Gypsy chicken.
I went to Gypsy the other day.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Did you have a gypsy chicken?
I did.
Good. They
Great.
use Swiss cheese on theirs, and we use
It's as
Gouda.
good as it
That's the
ever
only
was.
Yeah.
difference.
And I was
Oh,
interested that the
Jeff.
broccoli was not seasoned. I kind of liked that. Just raw, right? Nothing on it.
Butter.
Oh, maybe there's butter.
You know, and the seasoned water. That's about it.
I went to this restaurant in Houston, Texas. This is how big their Chinatown was. I've told you guys. It was like 10 square miles where nothing was in English. I loved it. But behind the hotel I was staying at was this shopping center, like cobblestone or whatever. And in it, there were plenty of restaurants. It was so so dense with different Chinese restaurants that I went to meet the crew at a place called Fufu Cafe, and it was the wrong Fufu Cafe, just in that specific.
Wow.
What do you call that plaza? Just in that plaza, it was the wrong Fufu Cafe. That's how dense this place was with like.
Houston's like the 4th biggest city in the country.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went running to a gym that was like 3 miles away, and the whole 3 miles, all the signs were in cuneiform and shit.
Well, in what?
Cuneiform,
What's
like
that?
Chinese, the Chinese scripture.
Well, that's what they call that?
I believe, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know why I would.
And were you in Dallas ever?
Yeah, I was in Dallas.
Now, what's that like?
Dallas, not like Dallas. When I was there, all the interstates were like being redone, and it was a huge pain. I got lost every single day on the way driving the set, and had a series of the most intense temper tantrums driving because there's never ending, and you're driving this huge truck, and everybody hates you, so you're just in traffic, and none of it made any sense. So you end up getting off and going in circles like 3 times a day.
I used to do that when I used to drive from New York to Ohio. I'd get lost on I'd get on the wrong leg of the Pennsylvania Turnpike every time. And back then I was young. I was always stoned.
Right.
And I'd have temper tantrums.
This was upsetting because I would prepare for it in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was sober, and I'd be like, all right, I'm not going to fucking take the wrong exit. And there's like 7 choices.
So what does the city look
within a
like
quarter
compared to Houston?
Dallas?
Yeah.
I mean, the cities all kind of have their...
Similar down there.
They're all pretty similar. Houston, I want to say, Houston, you can tell, is geographically massive. Like, the roads leading into it are flat and wide, and you see you're coming into the city, and you can just tell that there's even more city behind it. I mean, it's huge.
I find it kind of funny that Texas is lumped in with the whole, like, redneck state.
This was the most foreign place I'd been.
But then these cities are as diverse as you could fucking imagine. And what's the African American population?
Right.
In these cities? Massive.
Huge. Because I went to the gym,
But Texas is somehow like a redneck fucking state.
Yeah, it's a total misconception. Because the gym I ran to was in the black neighborhood, which was right next to the Asian neighborhood. And first of all, nobody bothered me on my run. And I ran through the hood. I was like one of the only white guys I saw. And so that can be a misconception if you're minding your own fucking business. And went to this gym, and it was, like what you were saying. So that Asian part of town I was talking about is probably 10 times the size of Chinatown in LA or in New York. I mean, as far as the geographic size. Yeah, oh yeah. Huge, much bigger. And probably more stuff going on. And probably more authentically Asian. But I mean, from different communities. I don't know if they were all from Mandarin or from, Cantonese. I know a lot of them are Cantonese, right? Right.
The most recent immigrants from China are from like the Fujian province, at least the ones around here. All those little stores.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
When I was growing up, they were all Cantonese and Mandarin, and if that's not the same. There's a book I have. I don't know if I still have it. I sent one to Chuck called the Fortune Cookie Wars, and that's about the different tiers of immigration of the Chinese.
That sounds like a good book.
Yeah, don't forget out west, Chinese settled out west a lot too.
You mean California?
Yeah, I mean the western part of the country.
Seattle has a massive Asian population.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what people don't realize. Here in Houston is an Asian population that can keep up with any one of these cities.
LA,
right. Exactly.
People don't realize. You go to New York, it's just so different now. Just different ethnic groups, completely. I mean, and that's history. That's the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, there was Jews, Italians, Irish, Greeks, Puerto Ricans, and blacks.
In Washington Heights, you're talking about?
I'm talking about the whole city.
Right.
Yeah. And now, I mean, all those people are still there.
Right.
But there's also all kinds of Asians, South Asians, and,
Middle Eastern people.
Yeah, you just see a whole different group.
Mm-hmm.
The city, you walk around Manhattan, you see it.
Oh, yeah.
You see big old mosques.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way it is.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think about this latest? Speaking of, there's been a travel ban or something they were talking about on my way over here.
Oh, like a
They just I guess reiterated the countries that are on the travel ban. It's like Syria, Yemen.
I never
Yemen.
thought that succeeded in becoming.
I don't know if it did or not. They were just mentioning it.
I mean, evidently it's countries that Obama picked as on watch lists.
Obama?
Right.
Yeah. He put them on. You know, these countries. You know, it was a pre-existing list of countries to watch out for dangerous people coming in with different religious ideologies that might want to hurt Americans. But Donald Trump tried to enact this stuff, and then there were some judges that straight shot him down, and I don't know that he ever got any traction.
Right.
I really can't speak about it. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Ned, do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, they found it unconstitutional the way it was worded. You know? And the whole thing was ridiculous because a lot of the bad guys, like, were homegrown.
Right. Well, look at the last couple of attacks.
Especially in Europe. Like, yeah.
Well,
Europe's a little different
I wouldn't
situation.
say it's ridiculous because if there's people coming in from those places, I mean, there are homegrown, and there's homegrown, like, white terrorists.
Yeah.
You know, that want to do
That fat dude that shot up the church in Texas.
Right? He could have been mind control. But anyway,
It had nothing to do with religion with that guy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm
just
not
nuts.
pinning an ideology. That's my
But think
point
about
about
his
this. I think, oh yeah.
think
Okay.
about his victims, who they were, where they may have skewed politically.
Let's hear
Think
this
about the guy in
conspiracy
Las
theory
Vegas, where
And
they may
they're
have
not talking about the
skewed
guy in Las
politically.
Vegas at all.
anymore.
Why
I
is
know.
that?
I don't know.
That's an
Well, I read
interesting
an
fucking
interesting
scenario.
book that
I
was-
took responsibility for that.
Well, I read an interesting book that could get far-fetched at times with its conspiracy theories, but the bottom line made sense. He said the author was basically saying, take a look at what happens in the news. The first 3 days, they get all this information, but you never learn everything about a situation in 3 days. Investigations get better with time if you continue to pay attention, but often the real information that's uncovered later in time, we've already moved on. We're focused on the next, some Democrat dude grabbing tits, and we've already moved on from that.
Distraction, and that's put there for a reason, to distract
That's
people
his
from
point
what's
too.
actually
You'd
going
love
on.
this book I'm reading. It's called The Octopus of Global Control. A lot of the stuff the guy
in
makes,
Vegas, to me, Vegas. I think Vegas shut down the information just because of Vegas. You know, it's business. This guy
Think about his target.
who was his target?
conservatives.
Conservative country folks. And think about, there was that day of protest versus Donald Trump. I mean, conspiracy theorists say after that happened, a lot of these things, Rand Paul got attacked, church got attacked, Vegas, all this crazy shit. When Antifa was supposed to have their big fucking day.
When anti what?
Antifa.
What's Antifa?
It's the vegan, crusty punk anarchists that put masks on and go terrorize.
Well, that's
conservatives
all that
in
sounds
trash windows.
ridiculous.
Really?
It's funded by George Soros.
That's
What I
really
heard.
ridiculous.
I know he's Jewish, but it's no reason to deny that it might be.
You think George Soros?
Yeah, he pumped like $18 billion into all these fucking groups that do this shit. Yeah, there's something to it. Look it up, guys. All I can say, Infowars.com. No, I'm not kidding.
Your boy, dude. What's up with his fucking bullshit products?
I don't know, Ned has some here.
What?
No, you have that Nugenics. It looks like something Alex Jones would sell, but I heard you guys just started getting them.
Well, I ordered one because it was free and I keep getting it.
I'm taking a bottle home, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, recently Alex Jones came out and it's fucking insane. No doubt he did it for the ratings or for it to go viral. We started talking about how lesbians, if left to their own devices, will like put you in a dungeon, cut the top of your head off, and start eating your brains. And they won't eat they'll eat the parts that you'll still be aware that it's
Right.
happening. And it's really insane. It's like a 2-minute clip. You can find it on YouTube.
Of him just ranting about lesbians being
Yeah,
sadistic.
getting totally crazy. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I in no way agree with it, but it sounds funny. It sounds comical.
Yeah.
And you find that man credible. Let's see what this person has to
I
say.
find him entertaining
Hello?
with good points here and there.
Yes, sir. This is Mariana. I'm calling you from the pharmacy. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, sounds great. Well, sir, I'm calling you today regarding your viagra pills. We have the Christmas offer this time, so I can
Speaking
do
of
the
male
offer
enhancement,
price.
You know, ma'am, I'm all set with my Viagra pills. Okay. All right. Thank you, though.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Welcome.
All right.
they must call a lot.
All day long.
They called during the last interview.
But he shut him down before.
Yeah, he shuts them down every time.
I don't want to be rude. These poor people. I don't know if they're calling from overseas with like a burner phone, or you know, they come right off the boat and they stick them in a big boiler room. And
I don't think they have a burner phone.
oh yeah, all these phones are different. Like, you know.
Oh.
Sure, because this way they get around the
Okay.
do not call list.
I figure it's in a room somewhere with a bunch of legitimate phones, but maybe they're burners and they break them after they call you about the Viagra.
Every phone. She's like Jason
After
Bourne.
every phone call.
She's
you
in
break it.
downtown Orlando. She just snaps it and throws it in a trash can. You know what I mean? Calls somebody else that's like over 65 on that.
I heard something today. Every once in a while you hear real news. And it was yesterday, the Senator Lindsey Graham, he suggested that a lot of the, personnel in Korea, that the families of the armed military there leave.
I heard about that.
You know? That's like a big deal.
That's a big
I think they have a revolution coming their way.
because North Korea might be firing on Seoul.
That's the first place they'll fire on. If there's, any kind of war.
South Korea.
Like we're doing maneuvers there with our jets right now, in response to his, make-believe missiles and shit. It could get out of hand in a second. That's, the difference now is the two leaders, are just,
Dicks, measuring dicks.
are just calling each other names, very childish names.
A dotard
Yeah,
was Donald Trump, and a fat
little
It's
rocket
still,
man.
like fat shaming Kim Jong Un. I mean, what does that say about like the youth of America? It's
Also-
mostly overweight here in America. Like,
You
Well-
think?
what's insulting? Your president's fat shaming another country. Like, how does that make kids feel? Never thought about that before.
Really?
I just think that it's like Saturday Night Live couldn't even cover it because how do you get more cartoonish than these two fucking guys?
Unfortunately, if anything does happen, millions of people die like the first, second day.
Yeah, it'll be pretty catastrophic.
Really do a
What if
number.
we just said this? What if you said Kim Jong Un? How about this? You can make your nuclear warheads because we all have nuclear warheads, and obviously you really want to. But understand that if you use it on any innocent target, you'll be immediately fucking obliterated.
Right.
And so and that's what he's doing. He figures everybody else has them. Why can't I?
Yeah.
That's a legitimate argument, really.
Yeah,
Why?
you
Because
really.
some, because some opposite
guy.
organization, the UN or whatever, said he couldn't.
Well, because I think when your ideologies are considered that extremist, then you can be deemed
Right.
not a rational person, not
In
a
his
logical
mind-
thinker.
You can't convince anybody they're an asshole. In his mind,
Right.
he's not.
But there exists an organization.
People live in
of-
insulated cultures.
Right.
Doesn't get more insulated than that motherfucker.
Right.
And I mean, our own government lives in an insulated culture. It has no, it's totally unresponsive to reality. It's responsive to the needs of the people that constantly give them money.
Yes.
It's not responsive.
Follow the money.
Responsive to the people, from any level.
Never will
Kim
be.
Jong Un ever showed the willingness, like say a Saddam Hussein, who had gassed whoever his own people or however that all went down? Has he showed the willingness, aside from supposedly starving them, but has he gassed his own people? Has he killed them by the millions? Has there been genocide associated with Kim Jong Un?
Oh, he has such a severe, even before him, severe system of like prisons and they'll arrest generations or levels of family if oh, it doesn't get more.
Total domination.
Oh yeah.
It's totalitarian. I mean, sometimes they'll invent the crime and then persecute the people
Yeah.
for it. I mean, it's like, yeah, that's my.
Or the people do it and then
Yeah.
invent the crime.
Oh, there's nothing
Right.
good about that guy.
No.
I mean, the interesting thing, and China's fear is if everything gets toppled, that a lot of the North Koreans will end up going over their borders, So I mean, it's just a big mess.
The only.
I mean, that's besides the fact that that everybody's toying with nuking each other.
Because Kim Jong, he's not going to stop, and we're not going to nuke him. So What's the
natural
end game here?
The end game. I think the natural
He's not going
solution.
to fire anybody.
I don't know if
because
this
he
is
knows
going to
damn well
happen.
We're going to be all over his ass.
Yeah, true.
I don't know if this is going to happen, but I think the natural solution would be a revolution from their people.
That's not going to
We
happen.
need to plant propaganda. Get the Russians involved, just how we got Trump elected.
That only works in somewhat of a democracy. It doesn't work in a, where...
You don't think it's possible for the people of North Korea to recognize
Dennis Rodman.
how they're being oppressed by their leader
know it,
and
dude. They're not
overthrow him?
stupid.
They just have no comparison because their information is so controlled.
How do you change that? You can't. So we just let him.
It changes, yeah.
Yeah, you hack them and you destroy the.
I mean, there's
barriers they put on the
infiltrated movies and stuff coming through. You see it on Vice or certain shows where, like,
People meet in the night with like a handful of U.S. movies.
Yeah.
Hand them over in a swamp.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
It's stuff like that.
Hey man, it's Fight Club.
Right.
And a lot of it, they just want to watch movies.
Well, culture and art
They
and
wanna be-
science
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
save them, and empowering women, which I'm sure isn't the case there.
Art is fact.
Art is fact.
I gotta go to work.
Come on, Dad.
Yeah.
10 more minutes.
Yeah, what
Right.
are you missing? Oh, you want to go say hi to every person you see every Monday again?
No, there's actually a birthday party there. I have to say hi to. That's okay. Let's talk more.
Okay, so here I want to talk about the restaurant. It's good. It's good you segued into
Yeah.
that, Dad.
Yeah.
Naturally. So you're thinking about selling.
Yeah.
The rest of the family doesn't want to give up the free food situation,
I know.
so they're kind of pushing that it doesn't get sold.
Me being one of them.
You being one of them.
Yes.
I'm kind of going
The
the
good
direction of that. However, I feel like you spend a little money on a rad kitchen manager who can really do your job. You might have to spend a little money. Then you just glad hand, kiss babies, 5 days a week, live the good life, still have that money coming in. Because I feel like you get that lump sum, you're going to start sweating it, and that'll be just as stressful to you as anything in that restaurant that could happen.
Probably.
Ned?
I think about that. I think you guys are the first guys to think about that. I've been looking for the fucking kitchen manager forever.
Why can't you find one?
It's not that easy. It's hard to find a dishwasher, let alone a fucking kitchen manager.
Right.
Do you think it's a matter of money?
No, because it's evident that I spend money no matter what. I'm not worried about money like that.
Well, here's what I think. I don't think you hire someone new if you're going to have a kitchen
You pull it
manager.
out of the person, yeah.
Yes, you pull it out of a Joe.
See,
or
I
a
got
Arturo.
the people there. It's just like I don't have the saute guys to replace them, so they could be kitchen managers.
So you wait
Okay,
till
we'll
a
get
guy.
the saute guys.
I'm looking.
You got to develop a saute
Yeah.
guy. I know I do see a huge correlation between coaching a team,
Yeah.
a team of any sport, and a restaurant. Yeah, you develop. You see someone who's hungry, who shows potential, who's into the job, and who likes cooking people, and you develop them and you move them to saute. But yeah, like you said, you put it. It all does involve spending money. You pay them to do something that's a little more,
The money thing isn't an issue because I'd spend the money on it.
Then you said the quality would go down and you'd have to be fine with that. But if you sold the place completely, the quality would also go down. It's just you wouldn't have the constant income. So
Right.
is it kind of 6 and 1, half dozen
And
the other?
I don't think. I think with you around, the quality wouldn't go down. I mean, if you're checking,
But he'd have to be like to reduce stress levels. He'd have
Right.
to be kind of checked out.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of the answers, a personal thing, a personality flaw, where I can't enjoy my business unless I'm totally freaked out by it.
Masochist,
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah. I mean,
in a sense.
look
Yeah.
at all my friends. Look at the ones who own Cowboys and Creekside. They're all my age. We've all been doing it as long as, we're
And they
friends.
can let go.
Yeah, they just let go and have a life. I mean, they're around.
Maintain ownership.
Yeah, they're around.
Fuck, I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
So there's this legendary Ned freak out from way back in the day that was recorded.
Yeah.
And supposedly it got you to like cool your jets for a little bit. Like that was what I always heard.
Well, like what?
Like something in the kitchen.
It doesn't matter. I was just a jerk. I was freaked out about everything. I carried on. I mean,
But no, my question is, do those tapes still exist? And if they do, they gotta go in your movie, don't
Oh, absolutely. If I could get my
Do they
hands on
exist?
something like that, you have to look at that.
There was
stuff
one.
as-
I can't find it. I don't
That's-
know what
That's
happened.
epic.
Right, yeah, he said
Subtitles?
he found the other one of some guy who apparently
Bruce.
was a pervert that everyone hated.
Bruce?
Yeah, he's the only one in the video cooking. Beanie's in there.
It's a
Yeah.
video.
It's a video, and there's some great exterior shots of the restaurant that are very of the time.
Where is this?
Yeah.
thing?
It's at the house. I'll
You
show it
got
to
it?
you. Oh yeah, I got the footage, but he's not in it.
But
Yeah,
you're
there was one.
romantic?
Your mother was in it.
She's in this one.
Yeah.
She's in the other one.
Yeah, I think so. And it's funny. It wasn't that I freaked out so much as I just, my back was always, I was always so miserable. My back was always hurting. This guy took a tape. I said, boy, look how miserable I was. And that changed me. And
That's what it was.
I only looked at that tape once.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I've never looked at it again.
Where is it?
I don't know. It was in my pile of stuff.
I can't wait till this movie comes together.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Keep
be sick.
looking for that if you could.
Yeah.
Just everyone, because what I see something like that, and I think not only is it literal documented history.
Yeah.
Even in removing from knowing anybody of the situation, it's documented history of a restaurant.
It's all in your head.
Right, but it's
What's in your
also
head?
Everything.
it's also gold.
It's all the way you want to
Yeah,
pick,
right?
multiple choice. The
We
way you
create
look.
our own reality.
We create our own reality. Look at,
Yeah.
Well, that's Alan
you leave,
Watts.
You leave the gym,
Alan
you
Watts.
feel good.
Yeah.
You look around yourself, people respond positively, creating your own reality. You go do a bunch
You
of
do.
drugs and masturbate,
There's
come
a-
out, people look at you like a fucking scumbag.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, this is Julia. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Julia. Yourself?
I'm fine, thanks. Now, I'll be extremely brief.
It's not even a real person.
The call is with a mortgage rate at an all-time low.
Well, that's not
People
Viagra.
may qualify
This
to
is about a
refinance
mortgage.
their home at a much lower rate. Are you the homeowner?
Julia, are you really there? I'll tell you that
Yes.
you're not really there. I know you're not there.
I need you to just do not call it.
Are you a real person?
No, she's not.
I think that might have been.
No, it wasn't a person.
That was a really good robot.
I know, but I get the mortgage company's been doing that.
Alan Watts, who I was just listening to, said one of the things that's so special about
Yeah.
man is that we
To change,
manifest our directed thought. You know,
right?
it's
I remember reading him my first college philosophy course.
I
What's his
quoted
name?
it.
Alan Watts, and he was a personal friend of my philosophy teacher.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget that was like 1968. It's
Yes.
okay, guy.
That's what he said. We began to realize that by directed thought, we could control our environment.
Ned, would that have been more like 1970?
Maybe it's close to 70. I don't know.
You graduated 69?
I graduated high school in 68. I went to college in 68 to 72.
Ooh, okay.
He thinks he's better than us because he has a degree.
I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in history and sociology.
You think that makes you better than me?
No, no one said that.
I asked him that once and he said yes. The same way. You think that makes you better? Yes.
I have a Bachelor of
Although,
Arts.
technically, it does. Like, in some by some
Better.
standard.
Yeah, but you know.
It
More
says a lot
more
for the
valuable.
higher education of the era that I went to college.
And you were actually a substitute teacher for a while, right? Or
Yeah.
Teacher.
No, I was never a real teacher. I was just,
Did you enjoy that?
you know, it was just the first day I said, man, this is like some kind of profession I know nothing about. You know, no, I was a cook at night, and then I just went to Waterbury. They'd call me
Water bearer?
Waterbury, Connecticut.
I ended
It's
up
like it is.
being,
Huh?
I ended up driving through there.
Yeah. What, on 84?
I think
Route
so,
84?
yeah.
I
don't
live right
remember.
outside of there.
There's some neat places up there.
Yeah.
I like those roads. Those are nice.
Yeah, Connecticut's kind of neat.
Tom Petty died.
Yeah.
That was shocking. And I felt like one of my own people that I really liked, died. I mean, I like Bowie and I like Prince, but Petty was like almost personal. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because I had
Yeah.
seen him in the restaurant once and knew he had a house here in St. Augustine and seen him in concert and all that.
I felt it a little bit. I mean, just because it's like kind of part of my history too.
He was really, I liked his music too.
Yeah, he was one of the first that I
What's your favorite
got
Petty
into.
song?
Well, mine was Breakdown by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Yeah, that's a great one.
He's got so many great hits.
American
all solid.
Girl, I love
American Girl's great.
it. Yeah.
His latest record, Hypnotic Eye. I bought it, actually. I mean, I bought
Really?
it and listened to it. It's really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
There's a song in there called
I'll have to check it out.
something about I'm a naughty boy, or I'm a dirty boy, or something. I don't know. It's real smooth. It's not what it is. But I'm a full-grown boy.
Mm. What were we saying though earlier about by controlling directed thought,
Well, that's very
we create our own reality?
In a sense, we do.
We do.
Right. But we were talking about
Because
something.
you can see people who are.
Well,
doing
it was
that.
just about like how my perception when I was running the restaurant, like
Yeah.
it just like this sucks. I felt trapped. I felt like a victim. You know, every time someone did something wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One thing I realized
Oh, you
when I
felt
used
personal. You took it personally.
Kind of. Yeah.
Well, I mean, one thing I realized was that it was like when I used to try and, I had this dream that like, oh, I'll just do I'll just do my favorite thing for a living. And then I started doing one of the things I like the most, getting involved in production. And I realized that like, even when you do your favorite thing, if you're an athlete or something, there's a lot of, like you say, there's a lot of romanticism about it, but then a lot of it's just the work, you know? Like there's a lot of practical things you have to do.
Well, yeah, like Ned said, he loves to. Well, at one point, cooking inspired him, but now he just does it. I mean, you enjoy it, or you just do it? Is it?
I don't have
Second
to make
nature.
the soups and stuff, but I enjoy it. I do. Like I'm excited. We smoked that pig. I was gonna bring it to, the party Saturday, but your mom didn't want me to. Anyway, it got smoked a little too late. But so I brought it to work, and we all ate as much as we can. And I kept the bones and made a great stock that I'll make pea soup with.
You stoked on that stock.
Yeah.
I love stock.
You know, and it's the different kind of soups that you make that I think are another thing that makes Ned's cool. You'll have split pea soup one day, and that split pea soup is fucking good. It's just like your tortellini salad, where they're both typically things you don't get excited about. You don't go to Publix and see that they made some split pea soup and get excited, or some packaged tortellini salad.
Which you might at Ned's restaurant.
Well, yeah, because he's throwing like fresh artichokes and sun-dried tomatoes and mozzarella, and it's different every time. Sometimes he'll use green and black olives. You know,
I feel like one of your things, Ned, is not skimping on anything. Like full flavor, full portion every time, and like
artichoke
you're gonna
hearts.
lose a little bit of money. You're gonna give a fat plate of food.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
That enter your mind, and so you're making less profit, but it's
It comes out.
satisfying.
You know, it's like, it depends. I mean, sometimes it's just ridiculous overkill with, that's my cooks overdoing stuff,
like the sausage we talked about.
The sausage. I mean, like,
I got a shot of a pan of sausage.
yeah, I love
That
that
you like
movie
that shot?
Goodfellas. There's always somebody cooking sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very Italian thing. Did it originate that way? Is it originally an Italian thing? Sausage.
I don't know.
It's not cheese.
It's kind of forced meat. Every ethnic group has their own. The Jews have stuffed derma, kishkas, which is like
What's that, intestines?
pretty much, yeah. You hardly ever see it anymore. It's forced, with the intestinal lining, and it's forced meat in that. you
Good.
know?
You know, we had
I mean,
it.
it'll guarantee to give you a fucking coronary arrest there, but it's good.
When I was in Turkey, they had sandwiches straight up made from, I believe it was just the intestines.
Wow.
Oh, spiced up and cooked up. Some guy not dared me, but said, you should try one. And he told me what it was. Guy I was staying with on the couch. I went down and got it. It was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Probably good.
the Comanche Indians in Empire of the Summer Moon, they were talking about this. When they'd be starving in the desert, or they'd be thirsty, it was an emergency, they'd drink the stomach content of a dead horse to survive. That's part of the reason they were so terrifying.
Like the water from it?
Yeah.
Or the bile?
The fluid. They would drink that shit.
Not because there was anything with the
That's a
fluid,
great history book.
just the
It's my
water.
favorite.
Just the texture of like the country and how it grew.
It's my favorite book, I think.
Yeah, it's
What
one
is
of
it
mine.
Empire of the Summer Moon
Wow.
by S.C. Gwynn. She wrote another one about General Stonewall Jackson called Rebel Yell.
I got it here.
Yeah, I think I got it for you.
Well, I got the audio book too.
I started, it was good. I mean, if the same guy narrates Rebel Yell that narrates Empire of the Summer Moon, he did a great job. Whoever narrated that one, because I have the physical copy, and the audiobook of Empire of the Summer Moon, and I listen to the audiobook all the time. But yeah, a lot of that was historical accounts written by real people, real soldiers at the time, or people traveling through. That's what makes that book so exciting, is because the information is real. It was real people. That's how people had to, and people were so well written back then, because that is how you communicated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like musicians, unbelievable back then.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know I'm sorry, not back then, but
In the
50
beginning?
years ago, 60, 70 years ago compared to now, because that was the entertainment. There wasn't a lot of production behind it.
Right. You had
Things
to
are consistently being dumbed down. I don't know, so we can enjoy our leisure time more as humans. But you see punk rock.
Yeah, the Supreme Court
Food, you see rap,
permits full enforcement of Trump travel ban.
full enforcement.
Yeah.
So okay, he won. It's another win.
Anyway, that's
Winning. Trump's fucking hilarious.
He is funny.
He's
I mean,
smashing everything.
I really hate the negative connotations associated with him, and I don't blame them always on him. I am glad I have you and Pete in my corner to tell me that a lot of that shit is perpetuated by the extreme left. They want to vilify him, but I'm still not totally
Democrats trying
right.
to get back in power.
But I'm still not totally convinced he's not a dick.
He's a dick.
I mean, I'm not necessarily a fan of his, but I just want to see things for what they are. That's important to me.
That's it.
The guy, I think, has asshole tendencies, but I think there's an element about him that's a little more alert than we realize. I don't know.
Are you kidding?
I'm not saying I like the guy.
You're allowed to say you like him if you want.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I don't. I wouldn't say it unless.
There's nothing
I'm
about him I
glad
like.
he's president.
You don't think he's funny? He makes me
Well,
laugh.
he's funny because he's such a douche, But
I mean, Obama was great. He was the man for the times, but shit went so much in a certain direction, social politics, that Trump came in and was just like, fuck this, and just he's the only one that could have beat the establishment like he did. It's actually totally fucking amazing.
well, change is never symmetrical, and he's causing a lot of change.
Right, he might be setting things up for better as far as having a nonconformist in the office, but I don't think he's the nonconformist.
No.
He's like the same dude tweeting about weird shit.
I just think he's a greedy businessman. That's my general.
And
view.
he's divisive.
Right.
This is the era of divisiveness, and there's a Trump all over the world.
Yeah, he is divisive.
I know, and that's not healthy.
But okay, here's the deal though.
Yeah, I don't like
There
people
were
that
two-
don't give me the truth.
There
Yeah.
were two choices. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
One took control, strong-armed the Democratic Party, had answers fed to her, and was lying, cheating, email deleting.
I don't care about the Democrats.
Right, but I'm saying.
Right, I'm not a
like
Hillary
Trump or
fan.
not though. I think he was the only choice at this point.
She was a bad candidate.
She
but
was.
That's over.
I know.
Two things immediately offend me. One
What?
is that marijuana is not decriminalized across
It
the
is in
board.
a lot of places.
I know, but I think I was saying, it's like I was saying last night. Me, you, and Parker were talking. It's immediately offensive at this point in time that alcohol and tobacco are encouraged and advertised about, and injected into all our
absolutely.
social
100%.
activities, and marijuana is
I've
still
been saying it for
ostracized.
20 fucking
Why,
years.
when we have evidence, empirical evidence,
I gotta go to work.
suggesting that it's the superior chemical?
You guys stay here and continue this.
Well, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
5 more minutes then,
All right.
Yeah.
and then we'll just
Relax.
wrap it up because it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it is gonna.
I don't
want
want to have it incomplete.
I don't either.
Rolls out.
And the other thing,
Roman.
the other thing I'm offended by is these terrible candidates I'm provided with
Yeah, well, that's
that I have to choose from. It's like none of these. And I use Hitchens as an example, but take a quote that he said that
Hitchens?
Yes, that you never get. He said, in one of his speeches, he said, "I want to live my life taking the risk all the time that I don't know anything like enough yet, that I haven't understood enough, that I can't know enough, that I'm always hungrily operating on the margins of a potentially great harvest of future knowledge and wisdom. I wouldn't have it any other way. I want a president that's going to give me insightful quotes like that, that's going to inspire me to become better as well as everyone else in the nation." That to me is somebody I'm going to vote for and I'm going to get behind and talk about.
I don't know who the Democrats have.
But I mean,
Biden, Bernie.
Biden is more, to me, even though he's a politician, is more related. Bernie is a little too left wing. It won't work.
Well, Donna Brazile threw Hillary under the bus,
Yeah.
and I think that basically said Clinton's go home and let's embrace Bernie. But Bernie's going to be 70.
Yeah, Bernie's too old.
74.
Mm-hmm.
As president? I don't know.
I like Rogan for president.
Joe Rogan?
Yeah. Because of the panel of people he'd put together. He cares about where he
Donna
gets his
Brazil
information
basically reacted. I saw her being, because of her book, to when Hillary collapsed. She had to, as the head of the party, react to a plan B. You know
why they got the footage of Hillary collapsing?
Why?
Because Alex Jones put out a word. He said, I have on good information from the Secret Service that Hillary's collapsing every couple hours. So his people, I believe, went out and were filming her at every moment, and they caught it.
Yeah.
Without him, that wouldn't have come out. So yeah, he goes on some crazy rants, but there's some stuff we don't even know that it's like, wow. Just like, I was watching this thing last night with Bill Clinton. The only reason his story about Monica Lewinsky came to the fore, the mainstream media was going to totally not cover it. Drudge Report. Drudge Report was like the early conservative go-to. Exposed all that shit,
Right.
I don't know. That's where all these conservative stuff comes from. That I think.
It's so funny to me, right?
I
I am glad I put that line in there today that I told you about. It's so funny to me with guys like Bill Clinton and Trump and their history with women, and we're like so outraged all of a sudden that men who abuse their position are in power. We've had already a president, well, arguably one of the more efficient presidents, in
and
Clinton.
then you hear some of the guys going like, well, I don't exactly remember it like that, but I do apologize.
Yeah.
And you see their point too. It's like,
right.
He said, she said. There's no trial. There's no way.
Nah.
But they're taking the side of the female every single time. And they can't all be telling the truth, but a lot of them probably are.
Right. It's an amplified, it's a megaphoned complaint of a real problem that's obvious, but it's more of a nuisance, and it's more of it's just annoying that men are so obviously transparent and creepy in positions of power like that. You know what I mean? These sort of greedy, gluttonous guys like Harvey Weinstein.
It's true, but there's, for every woman that was accosted, there's 10 that said, I'll fuck that dude.
Right.
Because I want to get to the top. They aren't coming out.
Right. And that's what I'm
Weinstein
saying.
wants to go get his gaggle of chicks who, begged him to sleep so they could get the part.
Right.
That'd be interesting. It's part of the game.
Yeah, right.
That
exactly.
gal did I read her article. She was in 12 Years a Slave. I think she won the Academy Award. And she told her story of Harvey Weinstein.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
He kind of pursued her several different times. She wanted nothing to do with him.
Right.
She was a Yale theater student, as Meryl Streep was. A lot of them. I guess they have a really good, theater school. And he had her for dinner at different places. He tried to get him in her house, and
But did she never just go, okay, let's go hang out in a hotel room?
No.
I mean, that was the deal, right?
No, not her. She was just outraged.
Right.
Pamela, what's her name? Pamela Anderson just came out and said, look, these women knew exactly what they were getting into with a lot of these dudes.
Right.
So she's coming out as kind of conservative on the issue.
Yeah.
As we'll put it,
Well, and I think I think the bottom line is if you're talented and driven, nothing is going to stop you. You can take that road, blow some old weird guy to get a Netflix special or whatever it is you want to do. You can take that road, or you can take the one that requires a little cleaner merit that you can
so part of the
put on an
culture,
elementary school poster board.
Yeah.
But I've never had anything against any sort of sexual favor prostitution thing, because I think it's totally natural.
Pay for play.
If all parties are into it, if it's somebody who's
Yes.
forced to a last resort because they can't do the work. If some woman wants to be an accountant but she couldn't go to college, so now she's a hooker, that sucks.
So would you put prostitution right there with your marijuana stuff?
Yeah, it absolutely should be legal. Are you kidding me? If anything, it's almost convenient for the prison system that it's not. That's something that is clearly not being solved. If prostitution is a problem, that problem isn't being solved by making it illegal, because people continue to get arrested for it since our entire organization here has been set up in the United States. So it's not solving the problem, so why are we still doing it? It's been going on for years.
Because the justice system is...
They feed off poor, uneducated
plus the
people.
prison system is an industry.
Yes, exactly. I know.
Sure.
It's an amazing industry.
It's a disgusting industry.
And now they have private Obama tried to get the private industry out of the federal system,
Yeah.
and Trump put it back in. See, that's the thing. You guys glorify Trump in a lot of ways and all this thing.
For sure doesn't.
But there are a lot of things that like he's going back at.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's
that
not
are really
progression.
harmful to society.
Yes. I agree.
And I also agree that CNN is so fucking lame and so.
I tried to watch CNN this morning and it was.
And that like people really just
pathetic.
dislike CNN and that type of media more than they dislike or they disregard all the awful things that's coming out of the new administration.
Right.
That's really going to be harmful.
Like that shit he did with the Department of Energy. Put Rick Perry in charge.
Yeah.
Who publicly has only ever said that looks like he needs to take an IQ test and he wears glasses so people think he's smart. He put him in charge of the industry that manages all of the dangerous nuclear waste that threatens to destroy the entire states that they're housed in. Like the most dangerous shit you can imagine. And then he cut a bunch of funding for it.
I think nuclear power is a good thing and it's cheap if we can manage.
Yeah, but it's never managed right.
But cutting the funding and mismanaging it as he had been, and that he was very late sending his administration in to take over, whereas previous, from all the way back from conservative presidents like Bush through Obama, all these, they interviewed a lot of, and Michael Lewis did that great article that you read.
Yeah.
And he said they were interviewing all these people in that business, and they said every previous administration got right on the ball with us. They sent a team over so that the transition was smooth and so that the people taking over understood their job, because they deal with things like broken arrows, which is a term for a nuclear bomb that falls off of a plane during transport and is terrifying to research because it shows how many near catastrophes this industry prevents. They send people to the Super Bowl to look up, dirty bombs and shit like that, undercover crews. I mean, they fight terrorism in many different ways.
All right, now.
He can't do it anymore.
I gotta go.
Any parting words?
I mean, I gotta eat too. Well, now he's taking his mic off, so his parting words are gonna be all jumbled.
Talking to the mic.
I have no parting words.